Howdy, welcome to the broadcast. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, also known as the Pajama Grandma. Yes, I am indeed still in my pajamas, or in my robe anyway. I've actually got yoga pants on, so I don't want you to think that I'm in my pajamas totally, just in my robe, because I have set up my life so that I can be in my pajamas and my robe whenever I want to. I get to, instead of having to go into my Italian food manufacturing business or one of my other businesses every single day, I get to work in the comfort of my I'm moving so my office is a mess home in my pajamas as long as I want. And if that's something that appeals to you, then you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to share with you a couple of things. It's almost high noon, lunchtime. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time. So for me to expect restaurant or bar owners to be able to hop on this webinar is pretty unrealistic, which is part of why I've decided to reach out to other agency owners and social media owners to see if you would like to offer this opportunity to some of your clients, or if you want to get into the restaurant and bar niche. There are, last time I checked, over 1 billion restaurants and bars in, I'm not sure, I want to say the world, but either way, there are so many, and they are so underserved and underrepresented in the online world and in the automated world of running their businesses. It's frightening. The failure rate of restaurants and bars is 95%, and that's unacceptable, and it doesn't have to be that way. And one of the things that we can do as agency owners and support people and people that sell services to restaurant and bars is help them to automate the processes that they don't have to actually do themselves every single day, and do the lead generation and customer handling for them so that they can spend their time doing what they do best. Stick in their area of expertise like you stick in your area of expertise, so that they can go ahead and serve great experiences to their customers and their clients. So I want to hop into the presentation and show you what I've prepared for restaurants and bars. And you, if you decide to get involved with this today, would actually have access to all of this and much, much more. But I want to just go through what I've created for them. Lots of action and activity at my house today. But I want to go ahead and pop into my screen. So I'm going to begin sharing my screen. And I'm going to go to my PowerPoint. And of course, it's not at the first page, because why would I have it at the first page? We're just going to do the slideshow from the beginning. So I've titled this, How to Get Customers Beating a Path to Your Door on Autopilot Without Putting More on Your Plate. My weird secret that had us turning folks away at the door so the fire marshal wouldn't shut us down, and how to ethically knock it off in less than 10 minutes to fill your restaurant and bar every single night. I want to make a quick earnings disclaimer. You're not going to get 10,000 customers beating a path to your door the first day. At first, I just wanted to get some customers coming to us. I wanted to get customers on autopilot. I'd heard of this holy grail of getting customers to come to you, and I wanted to figure out how to make it work for my business. I figured if I got 10 customers a day, that'd be 300 new people a month, and that was more than enough for my little restaurant. I currently have 17 businesses, each adding between 10 and 344 customers per day. And I have friends that are teaching similar things to what I am sharing with you today to other industries, and they're adding thousands of people to their businesses a day. Thousands. Now, I don't know very many bars or restaurant owners that could handle an extra 1,000 people on any given day. There are some, but not very many. Tom was one of our first businesses to test Customers Catcher for his restaurant. Here's what he had to say. In just 7 months, our worst performing restaurant became the most profitable. What started as a test has been rolled out in all our locations and put our expansion plans on steroids. Tom Thomas. Now, I want to ask you, just at the beginning, there's some really powerful, amazing things I'm going to show you in this little web class today. I want to ask you to please not use them to harm anyone else's business, and to just make your business awesome. So who is this for? Well, if you have a restaurant or bar business, then this is for you. If you don't have a restaurant or bar business yet, then this is for you, because you can get your bar and your restaurant started off on the right foot. I'm going to tell you a story about Wendy later on and what she did to cash flow the entire expense of starting her business before she even opened the doors. How does that sound? Do you think some of the people that you know or your clients or customers would be interested in that? I know mine are. That's one of my favorite services that people come to me for nowadays. And actually, if you have any type of business or you want to have one, the strategies and techniques I'm showing you in this little web class will work for you. So what the heck is a customer catcher, and do I really need one for my company? Well, I like to remember my time in high school. And I will admit I am not the girl on the right, but I'm probably more like the girl on the right than I'd like to admit. But there were girls like the girl on the right who did things for attention that weren't necessarily always positive. And then there were girls on the left that were naturally gorgeous and personable, and everybody wanted to be like them. Everybody was naturally attracted to them. And so with our businesses, it comes down to, do you want to make more money? Do you want people lining up at the door ready to spend money at your place? And if you do, then you need a customer catching system for your restaurant, for your bar. My goal for this web class is simple. The only way for you to exponentially grow your restaurant and bar is through handling customers on autopilot. And the only way to automate your customer handling is through Customer Catcher. The goal is to show you that on this web class. I'm going to offer you a gift for staying to the end. I call it the Blue Plate Special. Just for staying to the end, everyone will get the Blue Plate Special. I'm not going to tell you what it is because that would ruin the surprise and there would be no reason to stay to the end. Well, there would be because you want the information. Hello. I also want to ask you to please pay attention. Shut the door, put your phone in the other room. And as I'm saying that, my phone is sitting right by me, so I apologize in advance because it will inevitably ring, right? It won't ring for an hour if it's just sitting in the other room plugged in on the charger. But if I bring it into the office with me, it is bound to go off while I'm talking. But the reason I want you to pay attention is because this can help you and so many of your clients to create the business of their dreams. I'm going to tell you some stories about my life and my businesses and how I created them. And I've been in the restaurant and bar industry so much, and I know that our time is our most valuable resource. And we wear so many hats that if we don't get help with some of the areas of our business that we can automate and that we can structure, we can put processes and procedures and systems in place for, it will kill us. I suspect that a lot of the reason 95% of bars and restaurants fail is because the owner, the person that started it, just gets burnt out and overwhelmed. So who the heck am I, and why should you listen to me? My name is Sharon Horne-Ellstrom. I know, one of those long hyphenated names. That's what happens when you get married and you're in corporate America and you think you have to keep your long hyphenated name. But then I discovered that my initials were SHE, and I liked them a lot better, so I just kept it. I'm the key player and have been the key player in 7 different restaurant groups, either as owner or part owner. Anything ranging from a pizza place, a steakhouse, comedy club, sports bar, you name it. The only thing I haven't really personally owned, but I've worked with several, is fast food. And I would consider our pizza place and was fast casual. So I've been involved in a lot of different type of restaurants personally, and I've been connected to just about any type restaurant you can imagine, working with them to build their automated marketing systems now. I've worked in various industries in the food chain, from being a manufacturer. My last business was manufacturing handmade Italian food. And we sold that to restaurants and to grocery store chains and some gas stations and fast service places that wanted to carry our food as well. I have performed most jobs, if not all, tasks in restaurants and bars and businesses, from remodeling to taking out the trash, anything managerial, operational, and ownership, hiring, firing, taxes, finance, point of sale systems, purchasing, receiving, quality, compliance, you name it, I've been involved in it. And that's been for a couple of reasons. I personally believe that you need to understand each job in your organization if you're going to streamline it, automate it, and understand the process and to improve the process. And I believe that there's always a way to improve absolutely everything we do. But in order to do and find improvements, you have to understand what you're trying to improve. Or you have to have people that are so awesome, they can do a really good job of explaining and improving the job themselves. I haven't found that many people that are awesome like that. About 3% of the people I've worked with over my career, which is extensive. Over 40 years, I've been running my own businesses and things. So I found that part of the population is ambitious and they will be self-starters, but the vast majority of people are not. They haven't been trained to be. Hasn't been the expectation of them throughout their life. And so they just aren't. Anyone can be, but most people aren't naturally. I've had amazing coaches and mentors over the last 40 years in different industries, all types of different industries. And I have made and saved companies, including my own, tens of millions of dollars. And I believe if I actually add that number up, it's hundreds of millions of dollars and much, much more. So that's just a little bit about me and why I want to talk about this today after I take a sip of coffee. It says just some shots of me, my life now, and my beautiful daughter. But a little bit about my background, why I got interested in helping with this is I found myself driving home in my car in tears running down my face. And you guys, I'm not a crier. I don't cry. I just solve the problem and move forward. But I was actually crying. And I had been not fired. I'd been laid off, okay, because my company was bought. I told you about the phone. Sorry. My company was being purchased by a much larger conglomerate. It was being absorbed and turned into something else. And so I was let go. And I knew for like a little bit of time that it would be happening to me. I mean, I've been around long enough in corporate America to know that when the writing's on the wall, when your job is going to be downsized. And so I made sure I set up my team so that they would be fine without me. And, my 5 team leaders together didn't make as much money as I did for that company. So I totally knew I was the next one to go. But when it happened, I still wasn't, I guess I was physically prepared for it, but I wasn't psychologically necessarily prepared for it. We had just built a new house. My husband had lost his job several months earlier. It was right around the holidays. And we had expenses. We were making it, but barely on my salary, 2 kids that like to eat. And I didn't realize how much it would impact me until I was driving home. I hadn't even taken off my hairnet or my helmet. I worked in the food industry and I, was trying to wipe the tears off my cheeks because I had gotten fired. And because no matter what they call it, if you're let go from a company, at some level, you feel like you did something wrong or you should have done something different or that you're not good enough. And if you were so awesome, they would have kept you on no matter what it cost. And I don't know if that's true. I mean, I don't think that's true. And I wouldn't have wanted to stay anyway because I was already doing a side business. And so I always had been in corporate America. I learned that from my dad that, he worked in corporate America, but he always had businesses going on the side. And I sort of was following in his footsteps with that. But as I'm driving home, I'm trying to calm myself down because I didn't want to go home to 2, smaller kids and my ex, he's my ex-husband, but my husband, and tell him that, lo and behold, I no longer have a job because he'd been looking, but he hadn't really been having any success finding a new position either. So as I'm trying to calm myself down and not have the other drivers in traffic stare at me too much, I started thinking about, again, something my dad said to me. And he's like, always think about, what do you want? So what do you want? So I started stopping the tears and thinking about, well, what do I want? What do I really want? Well, I want to make money and I want to be able to hang out with my kids and my family. I don't want to have to be working all the time. I worked very hard in corporate America. I worked as hard in corporate America as if it was my own business. And that's, I think, like I said, some people are just inherently ambitious and we want to work hard no matter what we're doing and where we're working. We just want to put forth that sort of effort. And I guess I am apparently one of those type people. But I'm driving home in the car. And in addition to thinking about, well, what do I want? I remembered something that my dad had taught me. And I named it the PSDM system, the problem solving decision making system, because I wanted to teach all of my team members and my employees it. And I didn't think that they would like it if I told them what it really was and where it came from. So I named it something fancy to fit in with corporate America. But really, PSDM stands for problem solving decision making system. And all you do is you take a little piece of paper, you fold it in half, you write a little plus on one side, a minus on the other. And then if you want bonus points, you write the problem or the decision you're trying to make on the top of the piece of paper. And then you start brainstorming and listing all the reasons for making that decision and all the reasons against making that decision. And it becomes pretty clear pretty quickly which is the right decision for you. And then, of course, you always check in with your gut and you say, okay, I see the evidence, but is that what I really should do and I really want to do? And so I started doing this in my mind on the way home. So that by the time I got home, I was pretty calm. And I had come up with in the car, do I want to job hunt? Do I want to jump back in the job market and compete against all the much younger people? Because I was 40 at this point. I know, old, right? That's why I am the pajama grandma. So I had to decide, did I want to fight traffic every day? I actually went into work at that job at 3 o'clock in the morning because I had 3 shifts that reported to me and I wanted to be able to touch base with all 3 shifts. So in order to avoid traffic twice in the day, I would go in at 3 o'clock in the morning. I would see third shift, first shift, second shift. And then about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I would head home and I would be in that bumper to bumper traffic for an hour to 2 hours on the way home. It was brutal. And I had to decide, this wasn't the first time I'd gotten laid off. It was actually about the 4th. It could have even been the 5th time. I sort of lost count in my career, but it felt like I was always starting over. And I loved it. It was exciting for about 2 or 3 years. And then once I got the job all lined out and figured out, I would start to get bored, which was probably why I found myself looking for a new job every 5 years or so. But I had to decide, did I want to continue to live that life and live that pace life? The job before this one, I had missed out on every one of my family's events for a year. I had done a ton of traveling for that job. And although it was a very exciting, fun, rewarding job and I made a lot of money, it was not worth missing out on all of the events with my family. But as I mentioned, I've been running a business on the side with my sister. And no, that isn't us. I guess we wish it was us, but it's not. And those girls look much taller than we are. We didn't have it structured so that it made enough money to support both of our families. So since I was in corporate America when we got the business and started the business, I decided I would stay in corporate America and she would run the day-to-day business. But I knew she was getting a little burnt out of it and she was getting tired of it. So my decision was, my plus or minus was, am I going to job hunt or am I going to try to figure out a way to make the business work so that it can support both our families? And can I figure that out? So when I got home, that was my idea. And my husband said, yep, let's do that. Let's go for that. It's been running, at that point, it was probably 15 years. We'd been, the business had been successfully running. So it wasn't going to die overnight like so many businesses do. It wasn't a brand new startup or anything. It was a well-established business with an awesome brand. But, and I did a little job hunting because we went from just over broke with me working to just under broke in about a 2 weeks time, because although I was grateful for the severance package I got, I only got a 2-week severance package from my job. And that was not enough to cover the house payment and all the expenses and feed my children and things. So the ex-husband and I had a discussion and we figured we were sinking fast and we were either going to have to figure out how to rob a bank, something neither of which we're qualified for, or to me, worse yet, we were going to have to ask my parents for money, which meant I was going to have to ask my parents for money because they were my parents. And that's how he figured it should work, which he was right. I mean, definitely I was the one to ask my parents. Now, I will admit getting fired sucks and made me feel bad, but it wasn't nearly as difficult as going to my parents and asking them if I could borrow money to tide my family over while we got the business to the point where it would support us. So I was asking my parents to finance my dream of running my business as my sole source of income, and my husband, since he didn't have a job at the time either. And every day, of course, I feel so blessed that my parents were in a position that they could lend me the money, and they did, of course. But every day I owed them money broke my heart and made me feel sad and bad and, guilty and unworthy. And so it took everything in me to, know that I was mooching off my parents to live my dream. And I am so grateful and so happy that they were available and they had the resources built up over their years of hard work that they could help me. But I still got to tell you, that was probably not the worst feeling in my life. I've had some bad, weird stuff go on with me, but that was right up there with emotionally one of the most draining and hard things to deal with over the years that I owed them money for several years, actually. But the best feeling, one of the best days of my life was my dad had passed away, but paying my mom back all that money. That was a very good feeling. So we're starting to build a business. I'm working in the business every day, trying to figure out what's going on. And we started the business with a make a little, sell a little business philosophy. I'm going to tell you right now, if that's your business philosophy, it sucks. Throw that away right now and change your business philosophy. That is definitely not my business philosophy anymore, but it was when we started this little Italian food manufacturing business. But so I'm pouring over the bills every day and I'm freaking out and I'm stressing out because I'm like, this isn't working. This is so messed up. It's not working. And I remembered a chat I had with my dad. Every year he brought us girls, I'm from a family of all girls, home, and we would sell fireworks in the summer. And we would sell fireworks. The original plan was to put our kids all through college. And inevitably, once or twice during the season, because fireworks is only a month-long season where I live, my dad would be sitting in an old ratty chair toward the back of the fireworks stand, usually drinking a beer or a cocktail because we were able to sneak that back in the day. And he would pull one of us girls over and he'd say, Sherry, come here. He'd say, it's a feeding frenzy. And you'd look around and it was. People would have carts just overflowing or baskets or beer flats, whatever we were using at the time, overflowing with fireworks. And it was like a feeding frenzy. Everything that we had, people would buy and they would come back and see us year after year after year for several reasons that I never really thought about before I started really working on building this business, because I had always worked in corporate America. I had the business on the side, but I wasn't super active. And I had other businesses that I wasn't super active. I was more of a helping partner and advisor. So the day-to-day getting people in the door hadn't ever been on my radar until now, when I needed to get more customers and wanted to get more customers. And I honestly wanted them coming to us because there were so many other hats to wear in the business. I didn't really have the time or energy to go out and be looking for customers. So that became my first problem to solve. And having this memory of my dad and conversation with him about the feeding frenzy flipped the switch for me. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I needed to create an ongoing feeding frenzy for our business. I needed to attract customers in and then do my thing, make sure they were super happy and delighted, and then get them coming back for more on a regular basis. But the big thing was I wanted to be able to do that all automatically. I didn't have time to be advertising or promoting or doing all kinds of campaigns or sponsoring events or demos. Demos was a big thing back when I first started to get people in the door. But I knew that the secret to a successful, profitable, growing business was to get people coming to us. And then all we had to do was work our magic, make them happy, and they would come back. So my secret plan was to create an automatic system for all of our businesses. Our family together, we had about, 10, 15 businesses in the family. And I knew that if I could create this for my business first, that I could then also recreate it for each of their businesses and then my other businesses as well. But the problem was it took a ton of people, it took a lot of money, and it took a lot of time to make one because we had to put all the hodgepodge puzzle pieces together. So the first one cost me it was about $38,000. And it took almost 4 months to create. And it was a hodgepodge mess. And it would break almost every day. But that's part of why it took 10 of us to keep it going and keep it running. But what's possible now is incredible. I had my best day in sales was $797,000 not too long ago. But that's not it. My goal is to have $1 million day. That is my long-term goal. This is just some of pictures of my lifestyle now, some of the cool things I get to do and where I live. But the best part was, as I was running this Italian food business and some other businesses, because of this automated system that I'd set up, I was able to spend the first year being the primary caregiver for my beautiful granddaughter. That was priceless. So after 40 years, I discovered the hard way, which if you've been struggling, this is probably why you've been struggling as well. The hard way forced us to be able to do and put together all of these moving parts, all of these pieces, most of which at that time I did not have any expertise in. I was an engineer by training, and I'd worked in the personal care industry, the toilet paper industry. I made toilet paper was my first, I guess that's personal care, deodorant, labels, newspaper, bakery. I had worked in corporate America in no capacity to deal with all of these different functions. I was a corporate quality manager and a corporate quality vice president, but quality just looks at the processes and decides how they all work together to try to make sure that we streamline them and we don't have errors or make mistakes, and we have a great consistent output coming out of the end of the process, says for each department, and then the end product to our consumers. But we don't do web design. We don't hire media buyers. We did do R&D. I can say with confidence that coming into this and figuring this out, I did understand research and development and how to do those things. I also understood project management, which was a huge deal in managing all these pieces to make this work together to create the first system. This is just some of the things we did early on and experimented with for the food business and for the restaurants and bars. You name it, we probably tried it. We did cold calling. We did store demos. We did media buying. We sponsored events. We went to trade shows. We did booths at trade shows. We looked at technology and tried to figure it out. We tried to do some direct mail and lumpy mail, which we did have some incredibly successful lumpy mail campaigns and Dream 100 type things that I'll share later on. But I'm actually going to build a customer catcher for one lucky restaurant owner in just 15 minutes right here on this webinar. But first, I want to share the 3 secrets of customer catching with you. Secret number 1, customer's catcher, how to ethically steal your competitors' customers and they won't even know it hit them. Secret number 2, customer catching on autopilot, how to put your customer catching on autopilot with the push of a button. So simple, even my 2-year-old granddaughter can do it. And secret number 3, my number 1 secret competitive advantage, how to bulletproof your restaurant or bar business no matter how many new joints open up in your area. So let's just hop right into secret number 1, how to ethically steal your competitors' customers. How can you do that ethically? And how will they not even notice what hit them? Well, in corporate America, part of my job as a corporate quality manager and process analyzer and project manager, sanitation manager, and whatever other hats I ended up filling in corporate America was to spy on the competition. And I actually don't really call it spying. Like in corporate America, we would never have called it spying. We would call it competitive analysis. And part of all my jobs, and even in college, I learned how to do competitive analysis, because if you were going to start a business or enter into the business world, the first thing you ought to do, but I will admit I'm guilty of not always, no, I always do it, but most people are guilty of not doing it. Poll your friends. Ask your friends in the restaurant and bar industry, how many of them really did their homework and did a competitive analysis of their area, their type business before they actually got involved in their business. You will find that the statistics are abysmal in the industry. Restaurant and bar owners, they get involved in the business for all sorts of and all different reasons, but about 4% of them actually do their homework and do an analysis before they purchase their business or before they start their business. That's pretty scary, which might also explain why airplanes are flying overhead, why so many of them fail. Because had they done their homework, they would have either planned for some obvious pitfalls that were in their environment that they didn't see ahead of time, or they would have changed part of their plan and done something differently than what they chose to do with their format or their pricing or their style of restaurant or their location, any number of things. So we always did a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. For both, I always did them for the business I was involved in or the business I was thinking of starting, and then probably 20 of the closest competitors. Most people will probably do 3 to 5 competitors in their competitive analysis. I don't know. I'm kind of I think I'd rather have more information than not enough. So I tend to go overboard, and I will usually pick 20 competitors and do 20 competitors. If you want, Tony Robbins is one of my favorite mentors, by the way. This is a quote from him. If you want to achieve success, All you need to do is find a way to model those who've already succeeded. And if you do that by doing a competitive analysis, you'll know exactly what to do for your business. So I have created and perfected a 5-step process of doing just this, spying on your competition. First thing you need to do is you need to find your competition. And the cool thing is you get to define who your competition is. Now, you have to be aware that you might forget a key player that is actually a competitor that you might not be considering. So for example, if you have a restaurant in a small town and most people cook at home and they don't eat out, actually cooking at home might be your biggest competitor, or eating at home. And you need to target and try to figure out how you're going to compete with that. That would be an indirect competitor, but you also need to consider your direct competitors. So if I'm a restaurant in a small town and I have an Italian food restaurant, are there any other Italian food restaurants? Are there other restaurants that have a similar price point on their menu as I do? Those would be the competitors. But you get to decide who those are, and you get to then do the research on them. The next thing you're going to do, step 2, is you're going to find out where are they getting their customers from? Where are their customers coming from? Are they advertising? Are they offering them some kind of a coupon or a bait or promotion? Are they advertising in those envelope mailers that go around? Where are their customers coming from? Step 3, you're going to put your business in those same streams in front of the customers, but the ideal customers. You're going to identify who you really want your customers to be, and you're only going to put your offer in front of them. And you're not just going to have your business and hope people come in. You're going to create an offer that brings them in, that attracts them into your business. And that leads into step 4, offer them what they want the most. Now, 5 main reasons people buy anything is to make money, save time, avoid pain, or to gain pleasure. If you can incorporate any of those things into your offering, then people will come to you. So if you can save them money by offering them a discount, say an early diner special. A lot of restaurants that I go to, for us old folks up north, they have an early bird special. So if you come to dinner right at 5 or before 5:30, you get early pricing. You can save them time by cooking and doing the cleanup. You can avoid them the pain of having to cook and do the cleanup. You can increase their pleasure by offering an incredibly positive or certain vibration experience for them, some kind of an atmospheric thing that makes people feel good for having come in and been a part of the experience that you offered them. And step 5 is watch the customers flock to your place. So if you find the group of people that you want to serve, if you find out what they want, and if you give it to them, they will flock to your door. Simple. Helena's experience. We've added 517 new and repeat customers to our restaurant since we launched our customers catcher. The goal is to add 1,000 customers, and at the rate we're going, it is looking like it will happen before the end of the year. So who does this work for? You're probably thinking, well, fine dining restaurants, fast casual restaurants, any type cuisine, any size restaurant, from food carts to giant stadium providers. We've worked with them all. Sports bars, pubs, dive bars, elegant wine bars, dessert restaurants, coffee and tea cafes, breweries, independents or chains, any place people go to eat or drink. This works for all types of restaurants and bars and all types of businesses, incidentally. We've actually used the customer catcher in several different industries, and it's been just as successful, if not more successful, than with our restaurant and bar clients. I challenge you in the comments box to add, if you're thinking, oh, this won't work for me, put it in the comments box and I will send you the story of someone in a very similar, if not the exact same type niche that you are, of a successful person and business running the customer's catcher. So who wants to know my favorite place to spy on the competition? Well, it's a place called SEMrush, semrush.com, and you can use it for free to actually get tons of information on your competitors. So you just type in their domain name. I use Panera Bread. I did this live, but I don't have the bandwidth to run more than one program. I live out in the country, and it looks like my bandwidth is really bad right now. So I'm actually hoping that we're still on I'm going to click hide this button, that we're still on the presentation, because I've actually done entire presentations without being on them, or it's been my voice speaking the whole time, but the picture has not been showing. So I can only run one program at a time. That means I can just use my live demo software, and I cannot run the actual go to the different sites. I can't screen share ideally like I would. Now I'm working on moving, as you can see. So hopefully I will be in a new location soon that has awesome internet bandwidth, and it won't even be a question. But SEMrush, if you've never heard of it, is a terrific site to do competitive analysis and spy information of your competitors. We recently had a Panera Bread open in my small town, which is why I thought of Panera. And they have a very strong website because they are a chain. They have a big presence online. Now, most independents, which is my favorite restaurants to work with, sorry guys, but they're my favorites personally. Most independents have little or no web presence until they meet me. I want to show you a couple of these are just templates that we've created for a couple of different restaurant categories. We've got one or more for each category, and they're entirely customizable. You can start out with a clean slate and create whatever you want. So what is your customer catcher going to look like? I know I flew through those really fast. That was kind of unfair, but it's easy to create one of these systems for you. So how do you ethically steal your competitors' customers and they won't even know what hit them? Well, they won't know because they're not paying attention like you. They're probably wearing so many hats and so busy just running their business on a day-to-day basis that they don't have time to notice what's going on around them, much less do anything about it. And it's easy to steal your competitors' customers or attract the ideal customers you want. I'm going to talk about that later on too, because there's a big difference, because you don't want all their customers. You only want the customers that you want. You only want the best customers for you. And there might be some overlap with your competitors, and there might not. You might be going after a totally different part of the population that you want to have come to your dining establishment. So again, run quickly through the steps to steal customers. Find your competitors, find out where their customers are coming from, put your business in front of them, give your customers, the people that you're attracting, what they want. If you give the target market what they want the most, they will come to your place no matter what. We like to think customers are super loyal, but they're not in the restaurant industry. But that's why you want a customer catcher, because your customer's catcher doesn't just attract customers. It is going to do all the customer handling for you. It is going to build that loyalty, build that relationship, and create customers for life. And that's what we all want. Excuse me. So now you know how to ethically steal customers from your competitors, and they won't even know what hit them. They're not even going to notice. So let's pop into secret number 2. I keep thinking someone's coming down the driveway and all the windows are open, so it's really distracting. How to put your customer catcher on autopilot with the push of a button. So simple, even my 2-year-old granddaughter could do it. Another thing my dad taught me, obviously been thinking about my dad a lot lately. He taught me as a girl that there's no such thing as can't. And a few years back, I had a major health challenge that knocked me out of the game. It knocked me out of all my businesses. It actually knocked me out of my life. And I needed to come back from that. And as part of my recovery and coming back from that event was I needed to make massive lifestyle changes. Now, up until this point, I hadn't exercised really on purpose since college. A little bit in the health club when I had my first job out of college. But once I got married and had kids, forget about it. And then once I had corporate America, kids, and my businesses, quadruple forget about it. There was no time to barely think, much less exercise. Well, after this health event, the statistics were very grim for survival rates. And seeing that, I said, yeah, no, not going to happen. I got to figure this out. So I modeled the people that were successful and healthiest. And what they did is they exercised, and they did it on purpose, and they did it regularly. So I set a goal that I was going to exercise every day for the next year. And I made the mistake of telling my family and friends about it. Now, keep in mind, my family and friends have known me for a very long time, and they knew that I was not an exerciser in any way, shape, or form. So, you know, I got the messages like when you go on a diet and you start losing weight and everybody starts saying, oh, you look fabulous, but you're getting too skinny. Don't do that. You're going to fail, whatever. And you get all those failure messages. And I was getting that with respect to exercising. And I'm one of those people, you tell me you can't do something and I'm all up in there. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you that it can be done. And until I ran into a major health challenge last year, I exercised every day I quit counting after a couple thousand days, but it was 7.75 years or something. And then I missed a couple of days. Then I was bedridden for a couple of weeks. And then I was back up and exercising every day again. So I love it when people tell me I can't do something. And of course, people in business told me that I can't automate customer handling, that I couldn't automate my customer handling processes. And when you tell me that, of course, I say, watch me. And so I did. So what we used to have to do, I talked about this a little bit. We had to get all these different functions and processes and procedures together, working with one another, talking with one another to create this automated customer handling system. And I'll tell you, it wasn't automated. 10 people is not automated, right? They weren't all employees, but it wasn't automated. And it was automated as much as it could be. But I knew that I'm an avid believer in continuous improvement. I believe that there's always a faster, better, easier way of doing absolutely everything on the planet. And it's just a matter of finding it and seeing it. And if you ask the question, what's a faster, easier, more efficient way of doing this? Guess what? Answers and ideas come to you and you put them together and you automatically have a brand new solution that didn't exist before. That is the way the world works, at least in Sharon's world. So you used to have to do all these things and it wasn't easy. But about a year and a half ago, I discovered a new, easier, I think of it as miraculous way. I discovered a tool called ClickFunnels. And what ClickFunnels is it is an online, it's actually an app, but it is a tool that you can build funnels, sales funnels. And all a sales funnel is a sales process, but it allows you to automate that sales process. So it's like taking your best salesperson, the best person in your organization, which is probably you, the owner, by the way, and automating that process, putting you on the computer, on the internet, 24/7, doing your most incredible, awesome job selling of all time. So it's like having your best salesperson 24/7. You don't have to pay them. They don't have to take breaks. They don't have to, most of my people don't smoke, but they don't have to have smoke breaks. They don't have to go to the bathroom even. It's just done and up there and on 24/7. So it's always attracting customers to your business for you on autopilot, on actual autopilot. So this ClickFunnels tool allowed me to put my automated ideas on top of their framework, on top of their platform. So I could clone my customer catcher funnel and share it and let other people customize it for their restaurants and their bars. I could customize mine or anybody else's with just some moves of buttons and some graphic changes and some copy changes. And it became super simple to collect customers and get them attracted and coming to my businesses and to other people's businesses. And I could build in some other steps and stages in this sales process and funnel that we couldn't do offline, but we could do online and make it really cost effective and easy, actually almost free, to wow our customers, to continue to build that relationship, to create a relationship. How many of you have ever had a customer come into your restaurant once and you've never, ever seen them again? Put in the comments box if you've ever had a one-time customer to your place. Anybody that's not commenting, I'm going to tell you right now, you're lying or oblivious, because every single one of us, no matter what our businesses are, have had people that come to our business and never show up again. This is a way to ensure people come back to your business and at what frequency you want. Does that sound good? Yeah, I thought so too. So this is just a quick graphic of ClickFunnels, and all it shows you is that you can create different types of pages that represent different stages in a sales funnel or a sales process. So you can now take a lot of the things that you did in your business on a regular basis, like if you do direct mail or communicate with your customers, you can automate all that through ClickFunnels, through email, by emailing and messaging your customers and creating a relationship that way, or through something called messenger bots. Now, if you've got an agency or are a social media manager, of course you've heard of messenger bots, and most of the rest of us have heard of messenger bots as well. But you can put those in your business working for you again, 24/7, and attracting people right on their cell phones. So for one lucky business winner, let's build a customer catcher. Let me demo this for you, and I am going to just try to play it over. I actually taped it, so let's see if it's going to play. We did this for Matilda. I'm going to play this on YouTube right in the PowerPoint, crossing my fingers that it will work because, again, the bandwidth, and my bandwidth is really sketchy. I have 1 bar. Yikes. Let's see if it's going to work. And then I'll talk to you about it and answer questions right after. But I just want to demo, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just a couple of the features that we built for Matilda.
All right, here we go. Demo ClickFunnels and customer catchers. I am going to see how long it actually takes me to do this. Got a set of little headphones on, so I'm hoping that they work, and my microphone to try to eliminate the feedback and things that I get off of it otherwise. So here I am in my ClickFunnels account. You can see I've got lots of funnels in here, but what we're going to do is we're just going to pick one of my templates, and I'm going to show you how with the push of a button, we can create a customer catcher for you. This template is called Fine Dining Customer. I just grabbed the first one that I came to. And when you do that, you then go to your Settings tab. And on your Settings tab, right below Settings, you'll see this Clone Funnel button. You push the Clone Funnel button, and as if by magic, that funnel is copied into your account. So all I have to do, if you're a customer catcher, is send you this clone funnel or a link to this clone funnel, and you can, just like I showed you with the push of a button, in under 30 seconds, have this funnel as is in your account. And then you can go about customizing it for your particular business. Now, the business that won this week and entered her business was a lady named Matilda. She's got a cafe, and it took me a little longer than 15 minutes to create this for her, given her artwork and what she wanted for designs and details. But I've got it here, and I'm just going to walk you through some of the features because I can't possibly show you how to customize everything in 15 minutes. I actually thought I could, but with my computer connection and trying to record simultaneously, it just takes my computer too long to get from screen to screen. But we will go ahead and walk through her funnel. And all we did, well, her funnel or her sales process or her customer capture is exactly what this is. This is a system for her to capture customers with this first page, this squeeze page. And we're going to go ahead and click on that and show you. And then we've created for her a membership site, which is a way to get customers to come back to her place at whatever frequency she chose. And we decided to offer for her, and I'll go into the details of that. I'm going to show you the page. Let's go ahead and preview this so you can see what it looks like to a customer. It's pretty simple. She didn't have her logo handy, so we just used a little lady to fill in for her logo. But these are the colors and everything she picked. And what she's offering people as an incentive to join her members club is a free pie. They come into her place and she gives them a free pie. And all they have to do to get that is enter their name and email, and now they're on her list, and she can begin sending the automated communications that we're creating for her together that we've already created, and she's just customizing actually to follow up and to encourage people to continue to come to her business. But it doesn't stop there. We also, for her, created an upsell, which is this membership site I was telling you about. It's a sales page. And what she decided to offer as an incentive for people to come to her business was once a month, she will give whoever comes in that's a member, they can order whatever they want for breakfast, whatever they want for lunch, and whatever they want for dinner. And her menu prices are within a range that she's comfortable with doing that. Providing, one of each meal per month for her customers. And then she's also going to create a custom special dessert just for each customer every time that they join her for a meal, including these meals and other meals. So if somebody comes in for breakfast, they can get a muffin. or whatever, or a caramel roll or something along with their breakfast. And if they come in for their lunch and dinner, they can get, whatever she's got on the menu. But she's also going to create some special desserts that are only available to you if you're a member of the Matilda MC members only special group, because they'll have a special menu. And I guarantee those will be absolutely mouth-watering desserts that are displayed in a prominent place in order to get people to sign up for this program. We've had a couple of discussions about that, and she's really excited about some of the things that she and her friend Sandra can create to make this really special for their customers. And that's $47 a month. So we've created this and set it up as a membership site to encourage people to come back to her restaurant pretty much weekly or pretty frequently. If you're paying $50 a month and an entree or a breakfast is about $10, you're going to want to come 4 or 5 times to her place. And this works for her and her business and what she's trying to achieve with it. And she's pretty excited about it. Now, in addition to this, we also created an upsell package for her and for her business. We're going to skip to that. This is set up as a one-time offer, but what it does, and we don't have her video available yet. We didn't have it available to plug in here, so we just plugged in some random catering guide that I found on YouTube just for demonstration purposes to show you. But what she's offering is a $3,000 value package, a catered event or holiday meal for $997. But the cool thing about this is she can charge up front for this meal and plan accordingly, and they get an awesome deal. They get 2/3 off, which is an incredible deal. But she gets cash flow and money. Let's go ahead and look at this in the preview mode. For having pre-sold this, it's kind of the same principle of selling gift cards. You sell gift cards ahead of time, and there's always some percentage of those people that don't redeem them, but you want them to, because you want them to come to your business and be satisfied and have a great experience with you and your organization. And so that's what she's offering here. She's like, I can definitely do that. We can think of some really cool things to do for people and some specially done type things, and for birthdays or holidays or whatever the person that buys this decides they want to do, she'll tailor make it and do a menu with them to make sure it's a memorable and special event. And so that's what she did for her upsell. And then the other pages in this funnel are just what make it work. The how to take money part, the order form, the thank you page where people can then redeem and find their programs. So I can just quickly show you that those are in here. And she just went for kind of a country, homesy, home cooking look and feel for her site. As you can see here, it's kind of the checkerboard and then how to take money. This is automatically generated for you, so that works out really, really well and is easy. And then again, the rest of this is made up of the thank you page. I guess we missed the order page. We could go back to that. Here's the thank you page. Simple. Gives you a step-by-step what the customer needs to do. Again, her logo is not available yet. And the order form, just so you know what it looks like. And there you have it. Everything's set up and everything's on autopilot. Now, in addition to this, we've got a series of emails and other communications that are built into this system for her. She's actually working on customizing those, but they would fall under this automations tab. So for example, when someone orders, a whole series of emails can be sent out and messages sent out to continue to communicate with the people that join her club. And we can do the same thing for you. We've got all of these. We've got several series of emails set up in advance. So all you have to do is plug in your information, and you can use these same emails with your details to continually communicate with your customers on autopilot. So there you have it. That's all there is to setting up Customers Catcher on top of your ClickFunnels account. If you have any questions, let me know.
May have made a big mistake there, people. Yes, we're going to look at Japanese videos. Sorry about that. I wanted to touch base and see if we were still broadcasting anyway, and it looks like we are. So that is just a quick run through of the customer catchers and how it works. That is actually one from several months ago. We've really tailored and sophisticated and changed that now. And there are a lot more features in something called Actionetics MD that allows us to build messenger bots and all different types of messengers and all different types of cool technology that we didn't have access to when I first made that video. But we're incorporating all those into the customer catcher system as well. And again, it's all in one place. I can go into my ClickFunnels account and I can do all these things. But let's pop back into our presentation. Hopefully it'll bring us in where we left off. We're adding about 10 people per day to our system. It is making the slow nights fun and kicking our cash flow in the ass. Sorry, people. We're profitable for the first time every night of the week. We used to have to count the weekends to cover the weekdays. Jake Taylor. And I don't know about you, but I've been involved in several businesses, not just liquor or bar, where certain nights of the week, especially in small towns, and I've lived in small towns, the vast majority of my life, I've lived in small towns. And small towns can be really tough for certain nights of the week for business. You know, in small religious towns like mine, Wednesday nights traditionally stink because everybody is at what's called CCD or religious classes. Tuesday nights and Monday nights. Mondays are like a ghost town for most bars and restaurants in my small town, and Tuesdays as well. So that's why you have us, you know, in small towns, we're bringing in dart leagues and pool leagues and, you know, karaoke and meat raffles and all the other things and promotions that we can think of to get people into our business. But this is a way of automatically getting people into your business without having to do all those physical things. So you can still do some of those physical things and promotions, but you can promote them more as an event and a special occurrence, not like they're the only way to get new people and people coming back into your place. So you might be thinking as you're seeing that, okay, that looks good, it sounds good, but I can't possibly do that. And if you're a restaurant or bar owner and you're on the line right now, you don't have to do it. We've also got people on the line that are watching this that can do it for you. That's why I'm sharing it with agencies and with other social media marketers and things so they can add it as a service to their agency, because there are so many bars and restaurants that need this and need it for their business to be competitive and to stay alive these days. But it is a whole different skill set. It's an easy skill set. This is easier than it's ever been, but you don't have to be the one that physically does the work. We can get somebody to do it for you. But again, if anybody's done something like this before, it's proof that you can do it too. It's simple. It's easy. We've got thousands of restaurants that have done this, and that means that you can do it too. So secret number 2, how to put your customer catching on autopilot with the push of a button. So simple, even my 2-year-old granddaughter could do it. You know how to do that now. Here's another picture of her. I just like to show her off because I think she's so beautiful. So now you know how to do it with the push of a button. If you've got any questions or concerns about that, put them in the comments box so I can answer them before the end of the webinar. Secret number 3, let's dive right into this. And this is probably my favorite because so many restaurants and bars freak out when a new competitor or a new place opens up in town. And my friend, bar number 1, and I'm not using names because I'm from a small town, bar number 1, I've been associated with for a really long time, probably 8-10 years. And bar number 1 was the bee's knees, if you know what that expression means, but it was the happiest, hoppinest place in town until bar number 2 moved into town. Bar number 2 moved into town and started cannibalizing bar number 1's business. Not because they were cannibalizing it on purpose, but because they were new, they were the new guys on the block, and everybody wanted to go check it out. And the place was awesome, right? So what happens is when you're in a smaller area and you're used to getting all the business, when somebody else comes in, you feel like you're getting messed with. So fortunate for bar number 1, the owner had me in his back pocket, and I was able to help him through this process, the process of understanding what was going on, understanding how to attract back the ideal customers that he wanted. Because the truth was, when he had everybody, it wasn't always pretty. There were nights when the urinal would get ripped off the wall in the men's room. There were nights when there were bar fights because his was the only hopness place to go. And, 21-year-olds with a lot of alcohol in them can stir up some trouble. Testosterone gets overloaded in a place like that, and sometimes there's problems. So part of what we worked on was he didn't really want back all the customers. He only wanted back his favorite ideal customers. And so we built him a customer catcher to just attract those people back and leave the rest with bar number 2. And we did some really fun things on this project. Since I was really closely related to the project, we did things like on the ground, not surveillance, but we hired people to go into the bar number 2 and hang out and have a good experience and see what they were doing that was differently. So we did a whole lot of research, which was fun stuff that I hadn't done since college. And it reminded me of my reporter days and my, just fun youth days, I guess. So it was really fun to do. But it's a good thing we did this, because in the next 9 months, 7 new places opened up in the small town. 7. And if one was giving him chest pains and stress attacks and anxiety attacks, 8 definitely would have put him out of business or in the hospital. So how do you do this? How do you put this system in place to make sure that you're bulletproofing your business from all the competition, even new competition that's coming in? Again, we go back to doing our homework. We figure out where they're getting their traffic from. Same process. We put ourselves in front of it. We offer our ideal customers a better offer of what they want, a better experience, a better meal, a better whatever it is we want to provide to them. And they will flock to our door. But you need to be able to do the research and find out what's going on. And to find out where they're getting their traffic, you can go again to SEMrush, which we discussed earlier, or another site called SimilarWeb. And again, tons of information. In my little town, where people would say, oh, there's nobody on the internet, nobody has any information, I was very quickly and easily able to find 5 different groups that had data on the internet. Starbucks, Panera Bread, Applebee's. I cannot read this. I think it's Buffalo Wild Wings, and Wendy's. And I just picked one fast food to kind of give us a variety. We also have McDonald's and all kinds of other chains in town and tons of pizza places. But I wanted to just get a cross section to show you some of the data that's available on this site. There's a free version and a paid version of both these softwares. But depending on if you're just doing it for your restaurant or your bar, you can easily use the free version to do this. You can get like 3 searches a day or something. So if you want to do, most people, like I said, only do about 3 competitors. I do 20. So if I were using the free version, which I'm not anymore, I used to, for one restaurant at a time, I would just do 3 a day. I would look at 3 competitors a day, and then I would use other tools. I know, cheapskate way of doing things, but when you're starting out, that's what you do. So when I was starting out, that's what I did. If it's just your restaurant, that's what you can do, because some of these tools can cost you hundreds and hundreds or thousands of dollars a month, depending on how much you need to use them. And it's nothing you would ever need for your individual independent restaurant. But some of the information that you can find there, you can find how much they're getting for organic search, if they're doing, and how much they're spending on paid search, and what they're getting for returns on paid search. You can find something called backlinking, what sites are linking to and from them. You can find out what kind of words they're using to attract customers in both their organic search and in their keyword search or their advertising. So there's just so much information you can get by using these tools. You can find out the marketing mix of what they're using. Are they using direct? I have to use my magnifying glass. I'm sorry. Direct mail. Are they mailing? Are they using referrals? Social media. Look how small social media is there. I bet that's changed now if I were to run this same report again. Organic search and reach, what each of them are getting for that, paid search, and display ads. The other cool thing is you can actually get samples of their ads that are working. These tools will show you ads that are working. So if my ideal client is similar to people that would go to Panera Bread, I can see all the Panera Bread ads that are successfully running, that are attracting attention. And I can do something similar, not exactly the same because it wouldn't work for my place, but something similar, a similar type look and feel to attract those type customers to my place as well. So I know things now. I know where they're advertising. I know what they're saying, and I know who they're going after and who they're targeting. And so if I can find competitors that are targeting similar people to me, I can follow their strategy and put myself in front of the same type customers. Spying on the local level, this is just some spying I did in my market. And it was really interesting because most of the restaurants, and there's over 100 now in my small town, aren't doing anything. They are relying solely on third-party sites like review sites like Yelp or Foursquare or whatever they all are now. I've got probably 12 of them on my phone I'm not looking at right now, but they're relying just on that and on social media. Now, that's awesome if no one ever in the history of time was unhappy with your service or got mad at you or didn't like something or was mad at their date and decided they would take it out on your restaurant or your bar in social media or on one of the rating sites. Not a very wise way to run your business. You want to be in charge of the messages you're putting out into the universe and into the world, right? So it was interesting just doing some local things. Applebee's, Panera, both have a very good online presence. And they're obviously big corporations, and that's why they have that. There's millions of dollars behind their sites. Some local ones that are in my area, I'm not going to name them, but a couple of them are awesome. They do a really good job of all the things I'm talking about today. But the other 97 in my small town were doing nothing except maybe some social media, maybe being on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Not going to cut it. If you get into a Twitter war with someone, you can go out of business. If you get an influencer on Twitter that says something bad about your business, you can go out of business. Are you going to stake your whole claim on that? I wouldn't. Up to you, of course, it's your business, but I just wouldn't want to do that. But we know a couple of key things now. We know that the best performing restaurants are doing something. They're either modeling the best in the food industry, and a lot of them are modeling the best in taking the best from other industries. But the vast majority of them, most of your competition, is not doing anything. They might not even have a website. A lot of the restaurants in my area, they don't even have their own website. They might have their menu up on some of these other third-party sites, but that's it. And they don't control that. They don't control those sites. But if I model what works, I can get my best customers coming to my place on autopilot, visiting more often, spending more, bringing their friends, and I can watch my restaurant or bar thrive. We're getting 2 to 4 new customers a day in our automated online system customer catcher. I love repeat happy customers who like being associated with our little wine bar. I just do not even think about competition anymore. We love our customers now. Wine, don't whine is our motto, Wanda Washington. And Wanda is actually one of the restaurant owners I was talking about that I worked with and we created her customer catcher before she even opened her restaurant. We did the competitive analysis. We worked with her to decide what was the best format and type restaurant and type customer and clientele for her personally that she wanted to work with, and then for the type business that she kind of wanted to create. And we tweaked and adjusted her business model, and we created a customer catcher so that she ended up financing her entire business with pre-orders and pre-sales to her membership area and upsells before she even opened the doors. Who else wants to do that for their restaurant clients? So you're probably thinking, geez, competition, it's kind of scary. Well, you know what? It used to be scary. It isn't anymore. If you're doing your thing and doing the best you can and providing an awesome experience to your customers and using your customer catcher to get the word out and to communicate and build the relationship with them, game over. It doesn't matter how many competitors come into town. Think of all these small businesses that a Walmart will come into the area of their town and just wipe them out. Guess what? If a Walmart's coming into your area, there is plenty of business for everybody. That shows you how much business is there. And if you weren't taking advantage of that before, when Walmart comes into town, you either step up your game or you're out of business. Businesses that stepped up their game and specialized stay in business, even if there's a Walmart nearby. But anybody that tries to compete with Walmart just on price is going to lose. And that's what I'm talking about here. You have to compete in the marketplace on your own terms and offer your ideal customers what they want more and better than anybody else. And it isn't just cheap food. It isn't just a lot of food. Contrary to what a lot of us in the restaurant and bar industry think, it isn't just cheap drinks. People want a lot more than that. And it doesn't hardly ever come down to price or money. And if it does come down to price or money, are those your ideal customers? Are those your ideal clients? That is my biggest question for you. Because I'm thinking for a lot of you, the answer is no. It was for me. Secret number 3, how to bulletproof your restaurant or bar business, no matter how many new joints open up in your area. Have your customer catcher, be prepared. So let's just recap the 3 secrets. Secret number 1, how to ethically steal your competitors' customers and they won't even know it hit them. Secret number 2, how to put your customer catching on autopilot with the push of a button. So simple, even my beautiful 2-year-old granddaughter could do it. And secret number 3, how to bulletproof your restaurant or bar business, no matter how many new joints open up in your area. If I've modeled what works, if I give people what they want, they'll beat a path to my door and competition becomes irrelevant. So let me ask you a question. I've been talking for, I don't know how long because I can't see my clock. Probably, I have no idea, but I hope it isn't an hour and 10 minutes because then you should all just want to shoot me. That's ridiculous, but I can talk a lot. We know that. But let me ask you a question. Does this sound like something that would work for your business or your customers or customers you'd like to add to your agency business? And if so, would you like me to spend a couple of minutes telling you about it and telling you about the special offer that I've created to show you how you can simply and easily put this to work in your business? I can't see if people are commenting, so I'm just going to move on. But the first thing I'm going to do is if it's really been an hour and 11 minutes, I am probably not going to go through the normal stack I would go through for customers. Customer catchers is what we've created for you. But if this is something that you would like to add for your clients or for your customers, go ahead and apply at the link here on the screen. You'll have to copy it out or write it down. It's not, of course, a clickable link, but go ahead and click on that link and apply to be able to offer this to your clients as well. And it will be a totally done for you service. I kind of want to run through a few of the slides in the stack so I can show you some of the things that we've got in there, but I definitely don't want to take the time that it takes to go through to show this to you if you're a restaurant or bar owner. I do that on another web class, and it does take me about another 20 minutes. But go ahead and capture this, and I will share it on the screen after the webinar is over. But I want to show you a couple more things that I've created with this webinar for your clients, because this webinar can be running, and we can just refer people out to you if they want done-for-you service, if they want people to actually create the customer catcher for them. That's who this is for. I need, and we need at Customer Catcher, we need people. We've got 690,000 restaurant list for a mobile app that we're creating. And we need people to actually create these customer catchers for those businesses because we can't possibly do it, even in-house. I don't want to hire a whole staff of outsourced people to do this. I want to actually affiliate this out and allow people the opportunity to offer this as an affiliate and go ahead and share it with their customers and with their clients. So that's what this is all about. But let me just fly through some of the slides of what they're going to get. Of course, it's a 6-week customer catcher masterclass that covers everything that they need to build a customer catcher for their business. But a lot of people, like I said, about 85% of our people that come to us, they don't want to build it. They want somebody to build it for them, which is what gave me the idea to ask for agencies and social media managers that might want to add this as another service to their agency. With Customer Catcher, we got 23 new customers the first week. Now we've got it perfected, 100 new customers this month. Alicia Keller. So again, we've got testimonies. We've got who's it for, more testimonies for different type people that have successfully put customer catchers in their business. Not all restaurants. Kim actually has a liquor store. And then this is the Blue Plate Special for staying to the end. It's a basic how to get customers coming to your place on autopilot set up. Again, what are you going to get? Here's the stack. And I'm going to just fly through the stack. But in there, we've got everything that you would need to offer your customers and to build these for your customers. All of the supporting documents, supporting material, all demoed for you. All of our successful campaigns, things that have worked, things that haven't worked. And then this is, again, how it helps them. I'm just flying through the stack because y'all can read. But the presentation is already built out and working really well. But again, it's tough to get restaurant customers in mass to watch a webinar. So that has led me to say, okay, how else do we reach restaurants and bar owners? Because everybody should have one of these for their business. I mean, I remember in my business, in my restaurants, I was bone tired all the time. It's no wonder I had a sudden cardiac arrest, because I was always running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And there we have chicken with our head cut off on the platter. And this is just, again, alleviating their fears as to why they would be nervous about doing this. And then if all this did statements, the two choices, closing. So I know if you've got your own agency, you know how to do these things. And you can always listen to the this whole program as I do it for restaurant and bar owners. But we sell it for $9.97 to restaurant and bar owners themselves. We upsell the done for you package for between $5,000 and $10,000. It depends on what their needs are, how big their restaurant is, and what they need. And then there's also, for a lot of it, an ongoing advertising service and social media service, which is, if you're listening to this, you're probably an agency or have a social media agency, and you already are providing those services for clients. So this is just a way to target another category of clients if you're not targeting them already. So again, I just wanted to run through the end of the presentations. We got the whole thing, but I obviously have been talking for a really long time. And then we've got some special bonuses for people, which they're going to be going away pretty soon here, because the app bonus is definitely going to be going away. So let's pop back over to my screen. And I'm going to put my face back on here, unless I can answer any questions for you. So if you're interested, I'm going to go ahead and put up the link for applying to participate and be an affiliate for us with this program, because we are looking for, I don't even know how many, probably as many as we can get agencies. And I guess we're all just agencies, right? Agencies that do done for you services for businesses. And whether you do local businesses or national chains, this is something that you could add to your agency in a really quick and easy done for you way. So if there's any questions, go ahead and type them below this, and I will answer all of them, I promise. I thank you for joining me today. Go out, make it an awesome day, and I will see you soon. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll check and look for applications. It's just a Google Doc that tells me a little bit about your agency and why this would be a good fit with your agency and why you'd be a great affiliate for us. And I guess I didn't talk about the money or anything, but of course we pay 40% affiliate commissions. So if you land a done for you deal, you get, actually we do 60% of those. So you would get 60% of the commissions on those deals. And you get to decide and set your own prices for that when you use our system. That's it. Have an awesome day. Talk soon. Bye.